Good evening, ladies. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a GameStar presentation. We're here at the Respawn LAN, ready to start. I think this is the second game that's being played, so at least we got in fairly early. My name is ColdBlood, and joining me for this game will be Kitfox. How are you?
I am excellent, ColdBlood. I am excellent. It's going to be a cracker of a match, cracker of a tournament. I cannot wait. Respawn LAN, the biggest LAN in Melbourne. We've got about 600 people in front of us now. We're up here on stage. The atmosphere is electric. The League of Legends actions will be coming your way. We're here till about 2 in the morning. I'm psyched.
That's if we're lucky. So, we'll go ahead and jump straight into the champion selection. It will be Gravitate versus Moist HUGS live now. And I do believe Gravitate are on the left.
Yes.
Me, you're probably wrong.
Gravitate are on the left. So, checking out these two teams, the bands coming out. We've got REZ and Thresh. And over at the Moist HUGS team, they've opted out to ban Shen, Fizz, and Amumu.
Okay, so now they're just deliberating on their first pick. Oh, sorry. So they're deliberating on their first pick at the moment. We'll have to see what they decide to go for. We've just been watching the Championship Series, and Zed has been incredibly popular. Wondering if we're going to see him in this game. Oh no, he has been banned out. And so is Ari. So for Gravitate, they really seem to have banned out those popular mids and then gotten rid of Thresh. So I wonder if they're focusing on their mid laner.
Well, it'll be interesting. First pick, Soraka, and that's a very good choice for the first pick. Not giving the enemy team much to counter now. We see Kassadin has been insta-locked by worst Karthus ever. So why don't we run through these two teams, and then we'll judge them up.
Okay, so representing Gravitate in the first of many games today, Dark Lords, who has already locked in the Soraka for his team, Miss Darcy, LS Dean, Epic Dave Time, and Quarterblade.
Right, over at Moist HUGS, they are represented today by Worst Karthus ever, Dirigible Tomato, Pistols, Why So Serious Black, and Shadow Sith. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of comp they decide to go for. We see Vayne being locked in as the ADC choice for the Moist HUGS. Gives the opposing team plenty of room to counter very early on.
I think Vayne is an interesting choice because they know Soraka's going to be at the bottom, and she provides nothing in an all-in really, apart from maybe a quick silence and some sustain for her ally. So locking Vayne in, they know that it's going to be tough for the enemy to lock the Vayne down, but locking in the Karthus this early I think is a very bold choice. I'm not sure about that. I guess they just wanted to grab him before the enemy had the choice, and we can see that Gravitate have responded with the insta-lock Mordekaiser, and they've also locked in Volibear.
Possible Volibear, actually Volibear jungle even, so we may be seeing a few ganks from him now. It looks like Udyr has been locked in by Why So Serious Black. Got a lot of CC on the Moist HUGS team. You've got that silence from Kassadin, of course the condemn from Vayne, as well as the stun from Leona, and of course bear stance from Udyr. So very, very single target CC orientated, possibly going for the assassinations early on those squishy champions like Soraka. As you said, does not provide much in an all-out fight, but does have unlimited laning potential because the sustain is limitless.
Yeah, for sure. It's good that you point out the single target CC available on Moist HUGS. They've really got an in-your-face, jump-in, crazy team fight where they're all low range at the moment. I'm wondering if their top laner could potentially be Zac or something like that to just jump in with his team, or perhaps something with range like a Jace or maybe even a Kayle. We can see that the Piltover's finest champions, Caitlyn and Vi, have been decided on by Gravitate. So Caitlyn, Soraka, a lot of poke potential with you're going to have to be dodging the Piltover Peacemakers all day long. But when it actually comes to all-ins, I think they're going to find it very tough. And it may even be a Volibear top, so there may have been a change that they made in response to the enemy's picks.
Yeah, Vi jungle's very, very strong, especially once she hits level 6. The Assault and Battery ultimate is just amazing, and we've seen, if you've been following Worlds, you would have seen that synergize extremely well with Zed, almost an instant kill straight away, but we've seen him banned out, so they're not able to synergize that combo that we've seen throughout Worlds, but I'm still expecting big things from Vi.
Yeah, okay, so it will be the Vayne Leona, very in your face, against Caitlin Soraka, who definitely like to sit back. I'm very excited to see how Maud goes. He's probably going to be in mid against Cassidy, both of them melee champions, one being very mobile and the other one just kind of being a brick shithouse. Very difficult to push out of lane once he grabs the sustain. So we'll have to see how the worst Karthus ever fares against LSD on Maud. I think Maud may have the element of surprise on his side, as a Cass, there's probably not much experience against Maud.
Well, it's a very good counter. Mordekaiser is a pure counter to Cassidy. He's got that shield, and he just builds that up. Very, very difficult to take down. And he's also got, he'll be rocking Ignite for sure. Yes, he is. So, synergized with his ultimate, Cassidy will be able to get away, but because he'll have that double dot on him, Mordekaiser, I'm expecting him to absolutely stomp worst Karthus ever, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I wonder if Cassidy will be leveling his E. I think it's the Force Pulse. It allows him to push very strong, as leveling the Null Spear is not going to do much against the Iron Man passive of Maud. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him level up the E and just try and shove the lane back, Mordekaiser's AoE being very strong. I just had a look at the runes and masteries for the Cassidy, and he's running Scaling Health, which you see some running the mana regen, so he'll at least be a little bit tanky going into the late game. The problem with Maud, going against a Maud, is if you manage to kill the Vayne, she's going to be against you. It'll essentially be a 6v4. And if Pistols does well farming up, they're going to have to protect him really well. They have a lot of all-in. They do have the ultimate from Kayle to protect her, at least initially. But it's definitely going to be a juggle for the Moist Hugs guys here, seeing as the early game of Gravitate is very strong.
It's going to be very single target orientated. There's not going to be many AoE all-in brawls. You'll see a lot of assassinations. Very, very mobile are the Moist Hugs teams. You've got Cassidy, you've got that movement speed increase from Kayle, and you've got the tumbling of Vayne. Their movement is it's something to be feared, because they haven't got a whole lot of movement potential on the Gravitate team.
Yeah, I was just having a look at Volibear's runes. It's very interesting. He's packing flat AD, flat AP, and 10% attack speed. So, and then he's got 921. If he goes all in the trades with Kayle, he's actually going to be putting out quite a bit of damage and be fairly durable. Kayle does have the advantage of range, though. Do you think that'll make an impact in the purely melee status of Volibear?
I think it will. I think Kayle's main goal here is to try and pop Volibear's passive from afar with the ranged Magic Shred, the Magic Resist Shred. It's underrated. It's not used as much as you would think at a high level. The power it has at top is insane. But the only downside is it's not constant. It's very, very partitioned. You have to wait. I think it's got like a 15-second cooldown or something like that. So that's when Volibear has to attack. That's when he has to successfully trade. If he doesn't do that, then he's going to struggle.
Okay, so we're just going to get into the loading screen here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be moving into the skin battle as we see who will be taking this away. Just waiting for my computer to load up. For those who are curious, I had to bring it all the way from Canberra to Melbourne, and I must have banged it on at least 20 different things, and it still worked. So someone up there must like me.
We did have a little bit of technical difficulty earlier in the day, but we sourced that.
That's code for me being a silly sausage and plugging something in the wrong hole.
Oh, yeah, well, let's not go there, okay? So it's all sorted now. He found the hole, and everything is peachy. For now, let's pray. Okay, so the game is on. Let's have a look at this skin battle.
Oh, we're going to have Pool Party Leona down at the bottom lane, joined by the skinless Vayne. The Pool Party Leona will definitely have to have a look at her recall. Harbinger, I've never known how to say that name. Harbinger or Harbinger?
Harbinger.
Harbinger. I've heard Harbringer before, and that didn't sound right.
No. No.
And for the other side, Pentakill Maud, I want to call it the Russian Volibear skin. I believe that came out with the Freljord patch. It's actually very cool in game. So I'm looking forward to see that. What are we thinking about the level 1 power of both these teams, Kit?
Level 1 power, I'm going to have to back the Moist Hugs. They've just got so much level 1 CC. You've got Shield of Daybreak from Leona, you've got Bear Stance from Udyr, and if you want, you can even throw a point into Condemn nice and early on. Kale put a point into Reckoning, and there's a slow. So invade potential is very, very high at level 1 for Moist Hugs.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just quickly fix the UI. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So representing the blue team in this first game will be Gravitate. Moist Hugs will be on the red side. They're already getting pings down in the mid lane. I'm wondering if red team want to be aggressive. You pointed out the strength that they have early on. Pings going down at their own red now. Perhaps they are expecting the invade coming out.
They could be. It looks like they're just taking up defensive positions here. Very bottom-heavy approach here from Team Gravitate. They are on the blue side, on the left-hand side of the map, and they just look like they're going to be defending red. So maybe V should be taking red early on.
Yeah, so red team have gone where they pinged initially. Blue team are, of course, unaware of this as of yet. Not any wards coming down. Oh, actually, red team have chucked wards at both of their buffs. I think Cassidy may have run down to chuck that ward down at the blue buff. That is so smart from the red team. They are aware of both of their buffs. They're going to know if an invasion comes out. As the blue team, they're posturing around a little bit. Miss Darcy just going up to the top lane, not interested in helping his team at all initially. I wonder if we're going to see a delayed invade here.
I don't know. I think they're just sitting there. They've watered their 2 buffs, as you said. I think they're just going to sit back, just chill in that bush and wait to counter gank. Now, Mordekaiser needs to be really careful here. Nobody knows where they are, but we can see from the bird's eye view that they are right next to each other. And here they go. They're on. Mordekaiser spotted him, and the whole Moist Hugs team is giving chase. And it looks like Mord is just going to sit back, but the Moist Hugs team's pressing on. And Vi is now going to be forced to rotate. She's going to go and start at red, and it looks like Moist Hugs are going to be able to take blue, and Gravitate are not going to do anything about it. They're going to let it drop.
Okay, so well done by Moist Hugs here early on, forcing Vi out of there. And we do know that the blue buff for the red team is warded, so they'll know Vi is here. Ellis Dean just sitting in the mid here. Pistol's going to grab a creep on the way out.
This is dangerous for V. This is extremely dangerous for V. She's sitting on top of a ward, and she doesn't even know it. Vane's going to go around the corner. What does Vane put a point into? We need to go have a look at that one. She's got one in Tumble, and here she goes. V's in trouble. Vane engages, tumbles around, hits one. Caitlyn and Soraka have come up. Vi forced to pop flash, and will get away successfully, and now she is well behind the 8 ball. She is still level 1 without a buff.
Yeah, has used the flash, only has excessive force. Going to be very difficult for her at the red buff. She has already popped 2 potions, one of them running on her now. Very well done by Moist Hugs here. Going to secure both blues for themselves. I wonder if... Did Udyr picked up both those blues? No, it looks...
No, Cassidy got one. Very smart play there by the jungler.
Okay, so you've got a Cassidy who is against level 2 mod. Oh, Vi... Oh, going to be forced out of there. Poor Epic Dave time. I think we've all been in this situation before. You just get outplayed level 1 and you're trying to figure out what on earth you can do.
Ruins your day. Absolutely ruins your day as a jungler.
Yeah, okay, so... why so serious? Black, he will have gotten the full XP of 1 blue, half the XP of another. He's going to be sitting very pretty. Is leveling the Phoenix stance, which means he's going to be tearing these camps apart. Ellis Dean and Karthus going at it, and despite Karthus having the... sorry, not Karthus.
Worst Karthus ever. It's really confusing.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so you predicted that it would be difficult for Cassidy. We saw the trade go in the favor of Ellis Dean early on, but with that blue, he's just going to be able to chuck out the null spheres endlessly. Ellis Dean, he doesn't have much sustain yet, only a rejuv bead, so it's going to be quite difficult for him early on. Blue team, they look like they're sitting pretty down here. Actually, the red team, they're ahead by quite a bit in the CS stakes. I think a lot of that would be the jungler.
It seems to me that Vane's doing a really good job farming up that bottom lane after forcing the flash. And easy action in mid. Udyr comes in, and that's first blood. Worst Karthus ever lands the null sphere, and with the assistance of Why So Serious Black, picks up the first kill, and that is Mordekaiser down in the mid lane.
Very well done by Moist Hugs here. Looking very good in the first round. Picking up the first blood, I believe there was a flash for a flash as well as Cassidy getting the first blood. And of course, Cass, once he hits level 6, his game completely changes. Will he still have the blue? He probably will still have blue when he hits 6. No, he is going to recall after pushing the lane. And why so serious? Black on the Udyr. Looks like he wants to set his attention on the bottom lane here, Kit. Quarterblade does not catch a glimpse of him just yet. Has a ward, doesn't want to pop it down just yet. The infuse. Oh, now Leona is going to be jumping in, takes the tower hit for her shovels, pops the W. The third shot from Vayne will be propped on Caitlyn, doing a hit to the Soraka for good measure. Vi going to be queuing in here. I think that's called the, let's find out what Vi's Q is called, the Vault Breaker, as actually a pretty good exchange for the blue team, in all honesty. With you don't normally see a Vayne out CSing a Caitlyn this early. I think you alluded to that earlier. This is going very well for Caitlyn. Sorry, not Caitlyn, Vi. No, not Cat, Vi.
For Vayne. He's just getting outplayed here. Caitlyn is a hard counter to Vayne. And I'll tell you what, the Vayne-Leona combination is absolutely brutal. We saw Leona land the Zenith Blade under that tower into Shield of Daybreak, and just did not care about the tower damage at all. That's what Leona is so good at. The initiation and the snare, the double combination is just too strong, and Caitlyn just keeps getting caught out. They need to control that bottom bush.
Yeah, it's currently occupied by Leona, who loves to just sit here, zoning the enemy and then engaging on them when at all possible. The blue team do have the advantage of Soraka being able to top off both Kate's health and mana, but the longer she sits back here, the more zoned she is. She's losing last hits. Every single... Oh no, the range is being abused here to pick up as much as possible. Zenith Blade does miss as Leona steps into a trap there. Now the blue buff, it wasn't actually cleared out, so Vi hasn't even visited her own blue to clear that out yet, as Shadow Sith going to be heading into the mid lane. He does have the ultimate intervention available, but he's standing right on top of a ward. Well done by LSD to put that down and keep himself safe.
Yeah, Udyr actually went there to take blue, and Vi still hadn't cleared it, so he was just like, well, this was a waste of a trip, and then proceeded to farm up the enemy team's wolves. Now Kayle forced to go back to top after not being able to do much mid after standing on that ward, and there's been a bit of a fair exchange up there at top. You've seen Volibear 29 CS, Kayle just peeking to 30 now, so it's all quiet up in top lane. They're just sitting back and happy to exchange. Volibear's sustain and Kale's sustain cancelling each other out at the moment, so it's a bit of a boring lane at top. I think all the action's going to be at bottom and mid as we see another exchange in mid. LS Dean countering Cassidy hard, but Cassidy just starting to get a little bit of momentum, and there he goes. Rift's walk into Ignite, lands a Null Spear. LS Dean trying to counter, doesn't quite get it down. The Children of the Grave Ignite combo not good enough, and Cassidy is going to walk away with his second kill.
I think that why he is able to get that kill at the level 6 exchange, a lot of it has to come down to the first blood that was picked up, as well as getting the early blue buff. I think really zoned LSD out a little bit more than he would have liked, as you saw the health that came back when he used the Children of the Grave. Despite having the Ignite, he got a decent chunk of health back, so I think if he gets to engage on his own terms, worst Karthus ever still isn't out of the difficult laning phase that Cassidy is forced to suffer.
So you reckon late game Mordekaiser potentially is on here?
I think more level 9 to 11. If LSD is able to hold on here, he'll be looking sweet. He's actually decided to go Spirit Stone first. That'd probably be for the 14 health regen he gets from that, being able to build into the Spectral Wraith later on. As blue buff going to be donated over to Cassidy here. The engage up at the top lane, Shadow Sith. He does have intervention available, decides to blow the flash instead. What do you think about that decision?
I think he was just playing safe there. Divine Intervention, he can save that for a little bit later on in case Cassidy decided to go. Sorry, Mordekaiser decided to come for a walk up top. They often come in threes when you want to take down a top lane that has a lot of sustain like Kayle. So I think he was just playing safe. So he's still got it up his sleeve. He can even hang around a little bit more and heal himself up.
That is a very good point. You normally see the Chaos level of the Reckoning actually to try and chunk down the enemy. And Volibear, we've seen him with that Doran Shield and the innate tankiness he has. He's not really taking that much from the autos of Shadow Sith. Now that he's low, he's going to have to rely on the Divine Blessing to top himself back up. Let's have a look at the farm in the mid here. LS Dean doing really well. Going to be trying to shove his lane like Mordekaiser's love to do. Go and farm the Wraiths. The Spirit Stone helping out a heck of a lot there. He's currently sitting on 540 gold. He wants to get to the 1200 to pick up his revolver. He'll be looking sweet then. As the flash from Miss Darcy goes on to Shadow Sith here. Intervention is available. He will be using it to escape. Well done. I think if he had actually tried to flash away there, Miss Darcy would have just sprinted up to him. So
that's a successful exchange there by Volibear. That's exactly what he wanted. Now he can free farm the lane without having to be harassed by that ranged attack of Kale. So now he's got that. It's exactly what he wanted. I don't think Volibear's a fool. He would have known that intervention was still up, and all he wanted to do was pop it so he could get that nice little bit of farm. Now go back and buy the items that he needs.
Oh, well, we can see the impact of Teleport versus Ignite here. A Shadow Sith instantly able to return to lane, has 20% CDR from his items, and we can assume he's picked up the CDR in the offense tree. That was really bold by Worst Karthus ever here. He riff walks forward without vision of Vi, who is here. Is she going to sit in the bush? No, she will come out on her way to the Wraiths, assuredly. Oh, they knew Cass was there, but he is now gone back at the base. And I still think that was a little, maybe a bit arrogant to try and rift walk in just to harass. He does have the flash, but you really don't want to blow that just to get a little bit of damage to him.
You need to be really careful doing that against Mordekaiser as well. His staying power is a lot more stronger than yours is. If you blow your rift walk on top of him, he can just chunk you down so fast. You need to be really, really careful.
Yeah, if you take a Mace of Spades to the face with nothing else to absorb the collateral damage, you take all of it yourself, and it will hit you like a truck. So, down to the bottom lane, Dark Lord's doing a fantastic job of catching back up here. Worst Karthus ever has decided to roam his way down. Looks like Udyr also here. They know that Udyr is around. They don't know about Kassadin. Beautiful Eclipse going to go off there. Will Caitlyn be knocked into the wall? She will indeed. The Soraka ult goes off the barrier, absorbs a lot of the damage. Quarterblade going to be exhausted as he throws an exhaust on Udyr. Double kill by Worst Karthus ever, who picks up the double kill with a nice splitting of his spells there.
Yeah, excellent Null Sphere to take down Caitlyn at range, but the engage by Leona there, just landing down that Solar Flare, the double stun as well. It only has a very small stun as well, Leona's ult, and she did very well to land it on both of them, and that just left it open for Udyr with his bare stance. Vayne came in, condemned against the wall, and it was all over. Great double kill there by Worst Karthus ever.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Kit. That Solar Flare from Leona was perfect. Unfortunately for the Gravitate guys, LS Dean was just sitting in mid, continuing his CSing. They've got a 4-0 Karthus to deal with, and he does get a lot stronger later in the game when he can abuse that mobility. But I would argue that a farmed Mordekaiser also provides a lot of just AoE damage. He pumps it out constantly. Like we said, if he can get DFG, or rely on the assassination potential of the Volibear Vi to just jump on Vayne and annihilate her. If they get a clone of this 001 Vayne with the highest CS in the game, it's going to be looking really good for Gravitate, so they just need to play it cool at the moment. Volibear doing very well at the top, despite having less CS. I would argue that being equal when you're a pure melee against a ranged is doing really well. And Volley, if he can get enough health to survive, he becomes quite a threat in the team fights, as his damage without items is quite significant.
Yeah, Kale just abusing Righteous Fury, as Kales do. Vi walked up and stood on a ward, and all Kale had to do was back. Now, Kassadin's going for an assassination here. As good Kassadin's do, he has all the kills in the game under his belt at the moment, so he'll be nice and juicy on the farm side, and he's just going to sit there and wait for Kale to engage. The ultimate is up, so intervention available if Kale needs it. Udyr's going to get on the action as well, but here comes LS Dean. They're not expecting that, and the engage is on. Kale goes in. LS Dean cops a lot of the damage. Kassadin forced to walk away. It's not looking good for YSO Series Black Shadow Sith is in there. forced to pop the intervention and picks up the kill on Miss Darcy. She goes down. LSD did not want a part of that, and unfortunately left Volley there for dead.
Gee, you could see the call went out to aim the Kale. She flashed into that fight. The attention switched to her and she fell very quickly, but a nice timely use of intervention stops her becoming a part of Mordekaiser's army, and Miss Darcy is taken down. Fairly nice for them to only lose one, and the tower is not yet dead. He of course does not have teleport, so he won't be able to return very quickly. Looks like he's working towards the Warmogs, so it's going to be very difficult for Shadowsith to take him down until he picks up the Leandries. I can imagine that's coming after
They're hoping to take this tower down in this push. They know that Miss Darcy doesn't have teleport and is going to be successful, so that's the first tower of the game. Well done, Kale.
Okay, so the first piece of infrastructure going down, everything going in Moist Hug's favour at the moment. They're about 5,500 in the lead. LSD chucking down a ward. Miss Darcy barely too late to stop the KO recall there. And we'll go back down to the farm lane at the bottom. You'd expect a hard engage versus someone as strong as Caitlyn. You'd expect a lot more action, but apart from that double kill by Cass, we haven't seen too much down here.
Well, they know that they control the lane. Vayne and Leona have got it under wraps. The wards are out in both of these bushes for these teams, so bush control is essential at the moment. Now, Vi walking on another ward again, so Leona doing very, very well to negate any sort of ganks, whether it be through the river, through Tribush, or up the lane. So very, very well done by by Leona protecting the Vayne.
Yeah, so poor Epic Dave time from that trouble he had earlier on and not being able to pick up any kills or assists or anything. He's falling very far behind in the experience. He's only just picked up the Assault and Battery, and we saw it used on the Kale in the previous fight, but like I said, intervention stopping a lot of that damage. Blue buff, if this could go, I'm not too sure about giving it to Kassadin, to be honest. I probably would have given it to Kale just to shove this lane over and over and have limitless sustain, as the Moist Hugs blue buff will be respawning soon, but they decide to throw all their eggs in one basket there.
Soraka forced to pop ulti as it all goes down at bottom lane. Pistols popped her final hour, and then Soraka replied, popping her ultimate as well. We saw the global heal. Here comes the ace in the hole, but the condemn is on. Pistols could pick up the kill here, but no. The Soraka sustained too strong, and Leona and Pistols forced to retreat. Mordekaiser came down to get in on the action as well, and the retreat was on, so maybe, just maybe, Gravitate are back in this game, winning control of that bottom lane for the first time.
Yeah, so they will catch the respawn on the Dragon there. It'll be up in about a minute in the mid lane. The engage is on Vi, getting chunked down so quickly. Beautiful Assault and Battery, knocks them both up now. Worst card this ever. If he does fall to this, he'll give Mordekaiser so much AP. Flash by Miss Darcy, flash by worst card this ever to try and get out of there. And Ellisteen playing a Season 1 champion with no mobility. Worst card that's ever gonna be able to get out of there. There is no ace in the hole available. He will be scooting out for free as Kale picks up the third tower of the game in the top lane. Everything going in Moist Hug's favour at the moment.
Yeah, split push there was just way too strong. Kale knew that that Worst Scarthus ever would be able to Rift walk out of that one. He had totally full mana thanks to that blue buff that they stole about 5 minutes earlier, and Kale was just happy to push that lane, pop Righteous Fury, and what better than damaging a tower and killing creeps at the same time.
Yeah, okay, so the CS looking very good for Vayne, 128 to 113 on the Caitlyn. Mordekaiser doing very well in the CS, but has died a few times, and his counterpart is 402. Nice decision there by Gravitate to take the mid tower. Definitely going to help them regain a little bit of map control, but at the moment, they're definitely facing a steep climb.
They really are. I mean, top lane is just way too pushed at the moment now, but that's going to give the jungle of Vi, who is a little bit behind, who is an Epic Dave time. Don't forget that he was behind really early on, and now there's an engage at bottom. Solar Flare lands down on the ADC. Vayne Pop's final hour is completely out of mana and is going to be forced to retreat here. And that is unfortunate. The condemn not available due to lack of mana. Worst card this ever. Rift walks in, lands it on Mordekaiser with the Null Sphere. Fourth pulse comes out, lands down on Dark Riders. Caitlyn is going to be able to trap him here and get away comfortably.
Okay, well done there by the blue team to disengage from there. I'd say that was successful. They did manage to pop both the Solar Flare and Vayne's Flash. Miss Darcy falling very low at the top. The Chosen of the Storm has been popped. Shadow Sith going to try and Divine Blessing himself out of there. Should be fairly successful in this. Miss Darcy gets the Rolling Thunder going.
Here.
Oh, as the Dragon going to go down to Moist Hugs now at an 8,000 gold lead. So looking very good. I'd say the last hope for the blue team here is going to be either getting a Cassidy or a Vayne Ghost, as you've got to keep in mind 20% of their AD and AP is transferred to Maud.
Trouble here. They are way overextended, and Moist Hugs are in a good position. They're coming up from behind through River and Tribush. They are in a lot of trouble here. LSD and crew, they're moving out. Worst Carthus ever engages into Vault Breaker. Assault Battery lands down on Vayne.
They could go down. Children of the Grave is going to pick up Vayne. It's on. Bottom lane, Leona's in trouble. She has to go back away. Worst Carthus ever's going to fall. Yes. Vi picks up a kill, shuts him down. Solar Flare just comes up. And not going to be enough. And Ace in the hole's up. Turtle stances pop. No! Dark Lords takes him down. Huge plays there. Awesome turnaround we've seen by Team Gravitate. And what better time than now? They take bottom tower. They exchange 3 for 1. And they are back in this game.
You saw that damage coming out from the Pistols Ghost. As soon as they killed Vayne, Cassidy got chunked to hell and back. He could not get out. He tried to riff walk away, but Vayne does. The Ghosts actually do get passives from the champion they copy. So Vayne's passive, Night Hunter, 30 movement speed moving towards the Cassidy, did hunt him down and destroy him. Very well done by the blue team to turn that around. And Epic Dave, he got so much experience. I believe he even picked up a kill out of that. Definitely what he needed.
And it was Cassidy as well. It was a huge kill, massive pickup, shut him down. His kill streak was gone. So what does that take his score to now? 5, 1, and 2. He does have a Rod of Ages, and now he's going to be building an Archangels, trying to push that up into a Seraph's Embrace as well. So he is sitting very, very well, but he just got shut down. And when you're going so well, to give it to someone who's behind, you don't want to let them back in the game. You had the advantage. It's all a level playing field now.
Okay, this fight may be looking a little bit different. Intervention is available. Volibear and Udyr off farming, as the 4v4 could potentially come out here. The last outer tower for Gravitate going to fall. A nice ward coverage by the blue team, and by that I mean the one ward in the bush. But this ambush not going to work out well for them. Is the assault and battery ready? It is. They could single someone out, but whoever they single out will get an intervention on them. I have to say this Kale pick was a fantastic choice against the Vi Mordekaiser combo. Kit is temporarily fixing his mic. No, there you go. How are you?
Sorted. Sorry about that one.
Okay, good. So the blue team, as we switch over to Kale up top farming, Udyr going to be stealing away the blue buff potentially. Looks like he's going for Triforce, so he's going to be pumping out quite a bit of damage here. Although Miss Darcy is on the case, he is going to get in time. Two bears hitting each other, but Why So Serious Black is not going to take much damage from that. Built over Peacemaker hits both Vayne and Cassidy at the engage in mid. A lot of wards going down here now. The coverage for red looking pretty good. The blue team, they've got some nice defensive wards. They're going to get the aggression on in the mid lane. I don't know how it's going to go with Shadow Sith in the fight this time, Kit. That Kale pick was so smart against the Vi Maud combo and even Ace in the hole. I'm not sure how they're going to do these fights with the intervention available.
They need to take control back of this map, do the Moist Hugs team, and they've done so. They've got wards everywhere as we look at their control. If you just look down at the map here, you'll see wards everywhere, defensively and offensively. We've seen down in the lower jungle. They need to gain control. They're doing it so well. The lanes are pushed, but it looks like Mordekaiser's up. Leona lands a Zenith Blade into Shield of Daybreak. Lands down the Solar Flare directly on top of Caitlyn, who does not move at all. And she hits the deck, giving the advantage in the mid lane to Moist Hugs. But in the meantime, LSD with a very nice time switch. He takes off, but he's in a lot of trouble. Second hit tower could go down. It looks like he will comfortably. Because Gravitate, they just do not have the stopping power. The snowball champion selection from Moist Hugs too strong at the moment, and they're just pushing through. They can't stop at all.
Yeah, so it looks like blue team have decided they need to try and defend this tower. Why So Serious Black going to take a lot of damage, but the rest of it will be absorbed by the intervention. Flash out by Pistols. He's falling lower and lower. When the Vault Breaker comes up, Vi will be able to go.
Yes.
Oh! He does pick it up. The Vayne Ghost now going to be doing a lot of damage chasing after them. Shadow Sith going to come in, get a Divine Blessing on top of the Udyr. Currently a 0 for 1 in the blue team's favor as the silence and the slow go off on Epic Dave. Time is going to be jumping forward. Vault Breaker goes off by Kassadin, going to barely get out of there by the skin of his teeth. Good guy, Dirigible Tomato there. His solar flares have been great all game round, and he gives himself away so that the worst Karthus ever can escape.
By the skin of his teeth as well. He had about 10 HP left. He was monstering out of there. But yeah, the solar flare placement from Dirigible Tomato has been second to none at the moment. MLG play, I don't think I've seen one where he hasn't stunned anyone. He's just done so well, and his engagements are amazing. He's winning this for his team at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I did forget the Dark Lord fell at the start of that fight, so it ends up being a 1 for 1 after losing the mid-tier tower. And because of Ellis Dean, all of the outer towers are now down for both teams. So wards are going to be the name of the game with getting the map vision. This is blue team's vision. They can't see much. Red team's vision has been cleared out in the jungle apart from this one here. So we saw the maybe over-aggression of Moist Hugs here as they dive under the tower. Intervention forced to be used on the Udyr, who is tanking the tower, and that signals Maud and Vi to go right. Vayne, you are ours. And it did end up, Children of the Grave barely killed him, although I think Vi would have picked it up if not. And the dragon is going to spawn. There is a ward for the blue team, but it is going to be cleared quite quickly. Blue team gonna try and contest this, but it will be a 4v5, 3v5 even, and red team just gonna take it away without any contest as double wards go down in the dragon pit.
Double wards go down on top of the pink, so there's a lot of money up for grabs there for Leona now. She's gonna try and land a Zenith Blade here on Volibear, who is alone. Vayne lands the tumble shot. Vi just missing the Vault Breaker there. And it looks like Mordekaiser's just doing a split push lane at the moment. They weren't too worried about Dragon. They knew that they only had 3 players because Mordekaiser was up top and Volibear was mid. And they just couldn't do anything about it. They knew that the whole team for Moist Hugs was there and they'd just get outgunned.
Okay, so the red team, they're trying to set up a bait here. Looks like they've decided they want some of the Baz Kebab dinner. Baron starting to fall lower and lower. Blue team has absolutely no idea this is going on. And I think it would be very difficult for them to test even if they did know about it. So Ellis Dean was in the area. He unfortunately did recall. Red team are going to pick up the sneaky Baz Kebab after trying a little bit of a bait. And the steep hill started to roll out for the blue team is now going to be even harder for Gravitate.
They've got a long way to climb, haven't they? Now that Baron, there's absolute 0 ward control here from Team Gravitate. Soraka really needs to get them down. As we just have a quick look at her items, she does have a Sightstone, so she can have 2 out at a time. There's 1 in the lower mid-bush and 1 on Dragon, which just got taken out. They should know that there was a pink there on top of that, so they've just wasted wards there, and they've just given the support more money. It's hard enough for a support to get money, and if you just keep feeding them to them, they're going to be unstoppable, especially Dirigible Tomato, who is engaging so well for Moist Hugs.
Yeah, he's rocking 800 or so gold at the moment. We can see Aegis has not been completed by any team yet. Soraka getting fairly close to it. But I would imagine that against a fed Kassadin, getting an Aegis would be a priority for the team. So good decision there by Gravitate. Red team deciding to not go for the Aegis. They've gone instead Triforce on Why So Serious Black, who was farming the jungle so well. Looks like he may now go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, or maybe just Frozen Heart. That would be pretty decent against the 3 auto-attack based champions of the blue team.
Yeah, Frozen Heart would be an excellent choice here. Don't get greedy, you've got your Triforce. That's your damage. Now you have your sustain. Now you have your aura. Frozen Heart, reducing the attack speed of everyone around them by 20%. OP, especially on a champion like Udyr, who just gets all up in your grill.
Okay, we really need to see QSS come out from Pistols. He needs to remove Children of the Grave. They need to stop that. That is the only reason blue team are pulling themselves back in. They bait out the intervention or just engage when it's not there, and then they pick up such a strong Vayne Ghost with so much attack speed, getting the Night Hunter passive. This is the vision for the blue team. They are aware that Pistols is there. Will the Assault and Battery go down? Actually, just going to go straight into a Vault Breaker. The Q does go down. wish comes out from Soraka as Vi going to fall 2 pistols, who pops the ult. And now Dark Lords is going to get slowed by Solar Flare, bursted down by the worst Karthus ever. Very well done by Red Team to pick up 2 quick kills. And now the Udyr, who is tanky as heck, going to be laughing at this tower's damage as his team takes it down. That is all towers outside the base gone for the blue team. They're now confined to their base if they do not want to be losing it. They're going to continue this push. 3v5. There is no AD carry, no jungler for the Gravitate here. Moist Hugs going to be potentially dropping the inhibitor kit. Will they continue, or will they decide to finally back out?
I think they are so tanky, and they've got the advantage here. They know that the AD carry is down due to a terrible engage by Epic Dave time. His team just wasn't around. Kale now forced to TP out. They've got bottom inhibitor. That's what they need. Only 2 inhibitor turrets remain, and then we're straight onto the Nexus, and this is just snowballing ever so more gratefully in favour of Moist Hugs here. Their map control is just astounding compared to Team Gravitate. As you have a look at the map, there is no wards down at all. So Soraka, Quarterblade, really needs to get himself into gear and re-control this map. Get himself an Oracles, clear wards, get himself back into the game.
I think it really is a problem that Epic Dave time decided to go for the more selfish item in the Hex Drinker. He really needed to go Locket of the Iron Solari. That is how you contribute while behind. You just aura bot it up. And Quarterblade, like you say, should just be spamming wards and trying to cover up the vision. Dirigible Jamato doing a really good job. He has started to go for the Aegis himself. Picked up the Boots of Mobility. Going to be able to sprint up to fight Zenith Blade in. The Baron buff now runs out. Oracles, I think it's either about to run out or it just got popped. So Vision, even if it was available for the blue team, would quickly get thrown out here.
Shadow Sith did well in rushing Nashor's Tooth. He needs to get himself a little bit more ability power here. He's got the attack speed, he's got Nashor's Tooth. Combine that with Guinsoo's Rage Blade. Needs to build up the ability power if he's just going to use Righteous Fury as a main source of his damage, as most Kales do. He's doing a really good job of saving his teammates with Divine Intervention, but needs to be more of a threat in team fights as opposed to, oh, Kale still has ult up. You know, and this is exactly what they need to do. Look at the attack speed coming out here from Shadow Sith. Chasing down Miss Darcy, did almost half the HP, and that was just Reckoning and Righteous Fury combination.
Yeah, he managed to pull 2 people up to the top lane. Why so serious? Black just completely ignoring everyone. Voltbreaker goes off onto pistols, but there was no engage there. Flash forward, and the Rolling Thunder onto Why So Serious Black. Going to be Man-Bear picking his way out of there as Children of the Grave goes down onto pistols. He's staying a little bit too long here. Vayne Ghost going to be picked up, but it may be too little too late as the Mord is going to go down. The Ghost will die with him. And Kale here on cleanup duty. Janitor Kale, no, it will be the last kill of the fight, picked up by Kassadin. Triple kill by Shadow Sith, and it will end up being a 5-for-1 in Moist Hug's favor. They're going to be picking up the inhibitor here. A lot of minions at the bottom lane that could potentially end it right now.
We were talking about how much Shadow Sith needed to become more of a threat there, and we saw in that engage there exactly what we were talking about. Just came around the back, laid down the Righteous Fury, popped intervention as well, and this is the game right here. The ace comes out. Epic Dave time's not going to be able to do much. In fact, should fall down. Great Zenith Blade from the owner, and that will be it. The first game we see going to Team Moist Hugs.
Okay, well played by Red Team there. Dark Lord's trying to get something out. Could not do it. We didn't get to see the recall of Pool Party Leona in the end. Oh well. So we will be finishing this up here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Going to be much more coming today, as well as Dota 2 on GTV3 and CSGO on GTV1.
Plus plenty more League of Legends action coming your way as well. This was just a taste of what we've got for you for the rest of the day, so don't go far, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back.
We're going to have to name an MVP before we sign off. Kit, who are you thinking?
Whoa, quick MVP there. It's got to go to Kassadin there. Worst Karthus ever. Excellent play, and he's just come up here in front, mate. You want to come around here and we'll just have a little bit of a chat to you? What happened to Kale? How you going? I'm joined here by Worst Karthus ever from Team Moist. Mate, congratulations, Moist Hugs actually. Congratulations on your win. And personal milestone, mate. Is that your first MVP you've ever achieved?
I believe so, yeah.
You did play really, really well. You controlled your lane so well.
We'll have to give an honorary MVP to the Kale, who's sitting behind my computer whinging at me to give it to him. So, well played there, guys. We're looking forward to more games later on today.
Definitely best of luck with the rest of the day, and hopefully we'll see you on the winners' podium.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kitfox. I've been joined by ColdBlood. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you more League of Legends action, as well as CSGO and Dota 2. Stay tuned.